and practice what you preach. I can't be sitting here telling people not to go on TikTok before bed and doing it myself. So I had to start installing better positive daily habits into my routine, so I had more weight behind it when I was telling other people to.
100%.
But I promise you, that has changed my whole sleep routine, and oh my God, I feel a million times better. I do. That's no, no lie.
Hello and welcome back to AYP Spike. I'm Adam Wright, AYP consultant and primary program co-lead, and I'm joined today by fellow AYP primary program co-lead and coach. But his most important feature, if you ask me, is his pizza guru-ness.
Explain.
Yeah, so this is Andy Feast. He's a pizza guru because on the way to one of the fantastic primary schools that we worked in last year, he told me that he could identify the pizza, like type of pizza, from looking at it. Yeah. And I tested this theory because I then, a day or two later, I think, went out for pizza. Yeah. I was like, hey Andy, here's my pizza. It was like Neapolitano, mate.
Yeah. What he doesn't know, that's the only one I can identify. So that was just pure luck. That was
also, to be fair, if you'd said Neapolitan, I would have known. If it wasn't, I would have known different.
There you go. So there's holes in this. But that's the picture you are painting me to our lovely audience. Christ knows. It's
he's a geezer. He's a lad. Yeah. He's a wonderful man, and he likes pizza.
Yeah.
Man of the people.
I'm so glad I just don't care anymore about what people think.
He's managing those emotions.
That's so freeing.
Understanding his worry system, you know.
So I do, man. I can't. Food, for listeners out there, foodie is not even half of it. I can't stop eating. I love food so much.
I've had to rip them away from
the cafe
curry.
Yeah, the cafe is serious.
The cafe is good, man.
It is, and that's dangerous. Really. That is. Every Friday, get a little, something, and it's just, I love it. I love food, and this is a peek behind the curtain. Food is my thing. That's it. That's all I have.
It's not true at all. That's not true. Not true at all. And so just the normal show updates. Yeah. Before we get started into the main things, you can watch us. Yeah. We've had some excellent reactions to people realising what we looked like last week. Fantastic. No one thought some reason people thought I was Andy and he was me.
Yeah. I said that we look like twins. I was like, thank you. That's very sweet.
In no way.
But I'm not sure it's
in absolutely no way do I think we look like twins.
Apart from that, we don't look like each other. I think we do.
Apart from that, and in terms of not that just we don't like each other, the energy, the height, not to just.
He's so much smaller than me. It's crazy. Yeah, mate.
I'm barely over the table.
My legs are swinging down in this chair. Yeah.
There's some excellent reactions on that. And another couple of comments of people saying, why is Andy not wearing headphones and Adam is? It's because I care more about the podcast.
He does. I
just care more.
See, this is the thing. I just rock up. We do a little meeting.
He walks to the door. I turn on the mic. We record.
He's producer, ideas man. I'm not really sure why I'm here to be but let's go.
Food.
Let's do it. Yeah, there
I
you
like
go.
Food.
Yeah.
So it, mate.
Yeah, no, I think that's, and we got Instagram, TikTok, all the usual social media
come and follow us and interact with us, and
interact.
Tell us more about why we're twins, even though we're not.
Yeah, so this is show us some love on that because we're doing this because we care, and isn't that just the main thing?
Isn't it so lovely that we care?
It is. So let's have a little. How's your week been, my friend? What's been going on?
It's been alright. It's always it's quite funny because we always record these on peek behind the curtain. We record these on Fridays and they go out on Mondays. And Fridays is basically one of the best days of the week, even though Fridays are a busy day with this show and a couple other bits we do. So, but I always feel pretty good on a Friday. So I'm always if you ask me on a Tuesday how I feel, I probably would feel slightly differently. Because you're kind of in the middle of everything. But
we've always got a spring in our step.
Exactly. It's like, it's Friday. And as you said, the cafe here is genuinely one of the highlights of my week. It's like, this is very boring for most listeners, but you can build your own salad, basically.
How big's that? That's huge.
And it's under £5 for a genuinely... this is why you should subscribe to the YouTube. I'm now showing you the size of the container.
Yeah, this is nothing for you audio listeners.
Yeah, you're not... Watch it, mate. That is how big the container is, and it's just £5 for that.
Serious bit of salad.
It's good stuff, that is. That's really good. And it's under £5 for a mix and that. It's like...
It is good.
It's like that is a pick a mix for like 3 of those weird snake things.
It is. We've turned into Gary's economics.
We have turned into Gary's economics. We have. Actually, leads really well into our topic for today.
It does.
Which is our 12 rocks of well-being, which are the 12 daily behaviours that you need to undertake every single day to get the most out of your body and brain. And a quick intro plug here, we have an app that's free to download where you can track your rocks today. And basically, we're going to dive into 4 of those rocks specifically in today's session. And in the future, we're going to mention these rocks all the time. But these are, as I mentioned in last week's episode, your brain is an action-oriented organ. It likes doing stuff, okay? So one of the best ways to get the most out of it, to understand it the most, and also to just get the most happiness and fulfillment out of your life is to build in these positive coping habits, because they help us deal with stress, strain, negative emotions, all of those kind of things in a really positive way. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Wonderful. Sounds good. And obviously last week we did emotions, so this ties in very seamlessly to our emotions episode. Go and listen from last Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 12 rocks.
Let's do them.
It's probably my favourite thing to coach. Feels the most poignant to some extent. It feels like this is the foundational stuff for everything else. Okay, I always say that if you get these right, then academic success will follow. Things in life will fall into place in a way that you're happy with. It helps you take back control. It helps you sort of regain that sort of, that sort of self-awareness that we want to try and install in people. And to get people to understand that that's an important thing, the 12 rocks are just so simple.
Yeah,
but so effective. It's crazy.
100%. If you're going to do one, I think you should do everything we ask you to do and everything we suggest you do. But if you're going to do one thing, we do genuinely do these behaviours every day. Yeah. And we'll talk about a couple of reasons why some of them are so good. Right. Enough beating around the bush. What are the 12 rocks? So there's 12, which does sound like a lot, but you'll realise as we go through this list, you're probably doing 8, 9 of these 100%. Already. You might even be doing all 12 of them on your own already, but you need to try and realise that you're doing them. We can talk a bit about why they're important, and move along into a little bit of like the specific ones that we might need to work on and in our own lives, for example. So, rock 1, sleep. We're going to touch back on that one. Everyone knows sleep's important, but there's some real profound brain science as to why it's important. Rock 2 is exercise. Yeah, important. Everyone probably knows that. Rock 3, eat healthy. Again, these are, you're probably doing those things.
For sure.
Nice one, easy. Rock 4, be still. Interesting. Why do we need to be still, Andy? Yeah. Briefly, we're not going to touch on that specifically today, but it's really important. Talking about metacognition in last week, coming into our body and understanding our body, being present in the moment and noticing our thoughts. So being still is a little bit like meditation. It's noticing how we're feeling in a moment, noticing how our body feels, noticing how our brain feels, noticing the emotions that are bubbling up. It's really important to be still. But also being still is kind of being present. You don't necessarily have to be still for it. It means be still in a mental sense, if that makes sense. So you can go, personally, I wrote a whole newsletter about this actually. I wrote the Substacks. Hello, fan base. I know everyone's wild about the Substacks. I wrote one about how I struggle to meditate. I just can't sit still. I could not form a meditation habit. But I found walking my very old dog, Lucy, who's 14 this month. Happy birthday, Lucy. She is very slow. She's a black Labrador, so her hips are going. So she takes her walks very slowly. But it means I have to be present because I can't just plow ahead. I have to be, stop, stop, stop. And I find it quite a useful way of being present and being still. So, rock 4.
Yes.
Doesn't have to just be completely still. Rock 5, daydreaming. Really important to daydream. You have a mind-wandering network that is going to go off anyway. So build in time in your day to daydream, to think about things, to problem solve, so that you don't do it in classes or at work.
It's probably the most misunderstood rock.
Exactly. It's not saying, I don't need to pay attention in maths. No, you do need to pay attention in maths. But what you could do is daydream at a different time so that you don't need to pay attention, that you don't need to daydream in maths. Rock 6 is talk about our feelings. I mean, we've talked about that so many times. Last week we talked about that.
And we will continue to
Getting other people's prefrontal cortices involved in understanding our feelings is really important. So talk about them with your friends. Rock 6, walking outside. Now, That is getting harder in terms of the joyousness of it because the weather is changing. It's getting darker and wetter and grottier, but it's still really important to walk outside in nature and to connect with nature and to connect with, there is a physiological effect that nature has in our brains of calming us down and putting us into our parasympathetic nervous system, which works all year round. It's a really good way of calming down if you're stressed in your sympathetic nervous system. Everyone always talks about mental health walks. There's a scientific reason why that works. So get them in as well. Rock 8, I love this rock. Music. Listen to music. That Taylor Swift album that came out last week, listen to it.
Get on it, mate.
Get on it. That Ed Sheeran album that came out last month, get on it. The best album of the year, which is Role Models, Kansas Anymore, The Longest Goodbye, Deluxe Edition. Listen to it, mate. Listen to that. Listen to those songs and music because they're really good for you. Because your brain likes patterns, it likes recognition of that, and it really enjoys the novelty of music and basically the beats and the noises and stuff. Rock 9, friends and family. We've talked about this before a little bit. Social health is a really important aspect of our mental well-being. We can be the most fit, running, meditative person, but if we don't have strong connections with friends and family and loved ones, our well-being is going to suffer. So we need to make sure we have rock solid friendships and a community of people that we feel that we can talk to, because it's so important. Humans are social creatures. We are not meant to be isolated, and our brains really struggle when they are. We find it really hard to get out of negative thinking patterns. So it's really important that you are social and have strong friendships and relationships with your loved ones. That's really important.
And it doesn't mean having 100 mates.
No.
And we understand there's difficulties and challenges with this 100%. Because, life is life and people are different extenuating circumstances and all sorts of challenges in making friends and our relationship with families can be complicated and challenging. So sometimes we can't always control those things. If you could have 1, 2, 3 people in your life that you feel a deep-rooted connection
100%, that's what you need.
That's a community in itself. It is.
That's all you need.
And the beautiful thing, social media has its flaws. We definitely won't shy away from talking about those in the future. But
follow us on Instagram.
Too, right, and TikTok. So, but you can definitely have a community on social media. So people that enjoy watching gamers, that's a community. That is a community. That's okay to be a part of as well, and that can make you feel good, which is wonderful. And so there are options.
I think that's a really good point. And I think there's a balance with this particular topic of social media and social health, and understanding that sometimes our brain can be tricked into thinking we've had a social health fulfillment by scrolling on Instagram, seeing your friends' latest posts. Not quite the same. You'll know if you've ever decided to spend an evening scrolling on Instagram, looking through your friends' posts, as opposed to going and seeing your friends, that it doesn't quite do the same thing. It's like the equivalent of having a good, nutritious meal or a fast food dinner. You're maybe going to feel the exact same afterwards, and you've technically had, your brain's responded and given you the dopamine you're from seeing your friends and family. But it's not as nutritious and fulfilling as that actual human interaction would be. So obviously with a balance, social media is good because it allows us to connect with friends who are far away. Now we live in a world where you can be best mates with someone living in a completely different country, and there'd be no way of actually talking to them, interacting with them, unless we had those apps. So that's a really positive thing. But understanding that rock solid, going down the pub with my mates, going to the park, playing with them, having those friendships and activities together, and spending that time is really important, and one of our wellbeing behaviours that we need to engage in every day.
And just to be clear, Adams is going to the pub, not going to the park. That was for our younger audience. Just to be crystal clear.
Last time I tried to take a penalty in the park with mates, I fell over and missed the ball.
Yeah, and that's beautifully summarises Adam's footballing.
Not a footballer either. I don't play. I pub.
There you go. You're so right. Just we speak about doing things you love and passionate about, and those social communities are a part of that. So get out there and don't isolate yourself. Definitely. We'll talk about that, but don't isolate yourself.
Rock 10, kindness and thanks. Talked about this last week, how kindness and being grateful for things you have in life, for people you have in your life, ripples out, makes other people feel good. It's also just good for you. Your brain likes being kind to people because we're social creatures. You get dopamine hits when you are nice to people, so you'll feel better if you're nice, even if if you're someone who doesn't really care about how other people feel. Okay, fine. if you're nice, you will feel better. So you might as well be nice.
Yeah.
You know?
And hopefully we have got the compassionate listeners out there that do care about other people.
Yeah, you should.
People are people, aren't they? They're raw and all. So
true.
It's never a wiser word has been said on this podcast. People are people. Well done, Andy. We'll tune in next week.
I'm gonna make one of those cursive Instagram quote posts. Andy Feast, AYP Spike, episode 5. People are people.
Full stop. Cut it. I don't think we need to help anymore. I think we're
that's it. Thanks for listening to AYP Spike.
But that's the thing. Like some people just don't care what about other people, and that's the sad truth of it. We don't want you guys to be like that. Of course, we want, like Adam said, that gratitude, that kindness, that stuff is free of charge, man. Just be nice to everyone.
And it makes you feel better.
It does. That's what I'm saying. So even if you want to be selfish about it in a weird way, be nice because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Not to make them feel good, but come on.
Rock 11, do what you love. This is the one I love. Do what you love. Me and Andy love podcasting. So we are fulfilling that rock right now. But it's really good for your brain to do what you like. There's a reason you like it, because your brain likes doing it, likes practicing it, whatever that is. If that's drawing, painting, gymnastics, football, anything, gaming.
For sure.
Do it. It's good fun to do what you love. Again, don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's good to have, sometimes you aren't able to do all of the things you want to do, but build in time to do what you love every single day.
And that's why the do what you love rock is important, because it's one that I talk about a lot with my clients, because our brains are not as attuned to doing things we don't love. That's why if you struggle at maths, you don't like maths, you're going to struggle at maths. It reinforces that I don't want to do this maths because you don't love it. And your brain's not enjoying that because you're not confident on it.
Yeah.
But you have to sometimes just fight through that and just keep going because you can't do what you love all the time.
100%. And, for kids listening, unfortunately, as you'll know, your parents have to do things they don't love to do. You probably have to do chores and stuff, homework you don't have to do, but it's because in our lives we are not going to be able to do what we love all the time. It's
you
just
have to accept that there will be things that you have to do for formalities, for work, for whatever it is. As Adam says, you have to do some things that you don't enjoy. So that's why understanding that, okay, I can have that balance. And I always say it to my clients all the time, you can, for revision, for example, for my year 11s, don't get home, do things you love, and then do revision, because your motivation and your resilience to do that revision at 7, 8 in the evening is going to be diminished because you've just done 3 hours of...
Do it first.
Always do it first. Do it as soon as you get home, because your brain is still in that mode of, I need to work, I need to revise. Get home, do your study reps, do 4 o'clock till 5:30, get them done, and then you've got the whole evening to relax.
And then it's like a reward.
It is, exactly. You're rewarding yourself,
and that's a really powerful thing for your brain. Actually, is to reward yourself for doing difficult things.
Because then you associate revision with, I'm doing it now, I'm putting myself through it, I don't want to do it, I know I'm being kind to my future self, I'm putting myself in a position where I don't necessarily want to be, but the reality is I'm sitting in it, I need to do it because I'll thank me in 6 months' time when I pick up my results.
100%.
And I can still do the things I want to do after anyway. So you get best of both. And what can often happen, as I find with a lot of the people I work with, if they don't do the revision and you do the things you love, it almost hinders your experience of the thing you love. Yeah. Because subconsciously, even deep down, if you're not too aware, you should be doing it.
Yeah.
So you feel bad about the thing you're doing. So just eradicate all that by just putting yourself in an uncomfortable position for an hour after school, hour and a half, and just get it done.
Yep,
just get it done.
And it's fine to not like maths or science or whatever. It's fine to not like those things. You still need to do it.
You need to get those GCSEs, yeah.
Exactly. Could get the GCSEs, and then finally, Rock 12: play, make, create, read, learn. Learning, you're doing that at school. Playing, you're probably playing with your mates in break time. Adults, we need to make sure that we're being creative as well. It's really important to, being creative doesn't mean like necessarily I'm going to draw now. It means, reading a good book, getting engaged in a good story, that kind of stuff. That creativity and engaging in that part of our brain is really important for our mental well-being every day.
It is. And I'm a newcomer to the old reading.
What is this reading?
What is this reading?
It's still on the green books.
Yeah. I'm reading the Harry Potters at the moment, and I'm so unbelievably in love with them. It's crazy. Yeah. It's such a beautiful thing. And my mum was always like, read. I'm quite a creative imaginative person. I quite like the creative side of things. So why wouldn't I enjoy it? But I just sort of fought against it because I'd rather go on TikTok, which is a depressing fact. But that's why I've had to manage that and deal with that. The way I've done that is instead of scrolling half an hour before bed, struggling to sleep, which we'll talk about, I read. I thought, this is not a myth-busting episode. That's true. If you read, you will sleep better because you're not having the blue light. Your brain just sort of allows to wander, and you have your mind wandering network engages. Your creativity is flying. Oh my word, it's actually genuinely changed my whole sort of sleeping pattern, and I am just obsessed with those books.
Oh, fantastic.
Obsessed with them. Yeah.
Nice one.
So that's a little story. Like, I didn't believe it, genuinely. I didn't think that would help the reading side of things, the creativity side of things to these rocks. And practice what you preach. I can't be sitting here telling people not to go on TikTok before bed and doing it myself. So I had to start installing better positive daily habits into my routine, so I had more weight behind it when I was telling other people to.
100%.
But I promise you, that has changed my whole sleep routine. And oh my God, I feel a million times better. I do. That's no, no lie.
I think that transitions us really well into, we've already talked, it's already a 20-minute episode or so about rocks. So we're not gonna do every single rock again and talk through all of them, but I wanted to focus on a couple of key ones. And sleep, I think, is one of the most fundamental things, because you probably know you need to sleep. Everyone, talks about, I'm not getting enough sleep, and I feel tired all the time, all this stuff. And people know that, but there's two aspects to that. People still don't do it because they think, it's fine, it's just sleep. It's a bit of a tough morning when I wake up at 6 a.m. and haven't gone to bed till 3 a.m. But I deal with it fine in the day. The brain science says you don't. But also, the second part is going to sleep is not as simple as lie in bed, is it? There's a lot more to it. And I used to be someone who really struggled to sleep, especially ahead of big events, like, big changing events, because I just could not shut my brain off. It just kept thinking, and I was really tired, like physically, and I couldn't go to sleep. So we're going to talk about those two aspects of sleep. So, first of all, what happens when you sleep? You aren't just turned off, right? A part of your brain is always awake, okay? And what happens is, very basically, your brain shrinks. This is the actual noise that it makes.
Yeah.
And then a fluid called cerebral spinal fluid drains across the brain from the front to the back, cleaning it out. Because during the day, right now, when you're thinking, you're firing neurons at different patterns across your brain, all the complicated things you do in your day, creates an excess byproduct, kind of little toxins that sit on top of your brain. Nothing to worry about. You're all good. You can't avoid it. It's okay. But what happens at night is your brain clears those toxins out every single night. And you need to go through a bunch of sleep cycles to do that. It's at least 3, and they take a few hours each. So you need to sleep for 8 to 9 hours a night, every single night.
Yeah.
There's a few aspects of this. You can't bank sleep. You can't sleep 5 hours on a weekday, 10 hours on a Saturday, 10 hours on a Sunday, and be like, okay, I've caught up. It doesn't work like that.
Contrary to belief, yeah.
Unfortunately, if you have not got enough sleep the night before, you're never getting that sleep back. You can't just bank it the next night. Obviously, sometimes we don't get hours sleep. I'm not trying to fearmonger about how terrible that is for your health, but you need to try as much as you possibly can and make sure that consistently, and that's the most important thing, is that you are getting at least hours sleep most nights. That is so important. Whatever situation you're in, if you're getting up really early for work, you're going to have to go to bed earlier. It's too important that you prioritize your sleep, because these toxins in our brains produce a kind of like a little plaque, and they sometimes bind neurons together. Okay, and what your cerebral spinal fluid does is drain across and clean those things out. If you're not cleaning your brain sufficiently and properly, those plaques remain and they bind together certain types of neurons. And later in life and throughout your life, these things can lead to things like Alzheimer's and dementia, because it affects the way your brain chemistry works, and those neurons are not as accessible because they're basically kind of glued together by these plaques. But also, think of it like this, in a more simple way, in a more day-to-day way. If you have not had 8 hours sleep, you have 30%, I'm not good at math, but that's a big number, less memory available the next day.
Yeah. Crazy.
So if you've not slept 8 hours going to school, you are literally not going to remember as much stuff as you did. When I'm in primary schools, I always use the example of, if you haven't charged your phone overnight and you've got it from, normally it's 100, it's 70%. You are not going to get as much out of your phone that day. No matter how hard you're like, I can think my way through it. It's just fine. It's not going to be. You need to charge your phone fully to get your longevity out of your phone. Your brain is the exact same. To get the most out of your brain every day, we need to get 8 hours sleep.
100%. 100%. You've got to look after yourself, and that is a surefire way. That's self-care. That's self-love. Getting the sleep you deserve, because you ain't going to perform in the same way if you don't. We want to have you to be able to cognitively perform to your maximum after a night's sleep. And as Adam said, if you're not getting the required hours, you're not going to be able to do that. So for those of you that are going to do GCSEs this year, for those of you doing your SATs, for those of you doing A-levels, or whoever you are, adults who have got big business meetings the next day, you are not going to perform as well if you have bad sleep. It's challenging. Sleep is so tricky, as you said, because, well, that's a time of the day where we do overthink and we do stir, and I'm guilty of it as well. You do lie awake thinking, I've got this to do tomorrow, I've got this to do tomorrow. How am I going to cope? How am I going to manage? That's where Adam will give you some tips about how we can sleep in better ways, and definitely not going on your phone before bed is one I can give you. That's easy. Yeah. But you have to look after that element of your physical health, because it will affect you cognitively if you don't. And that's just the last thing we want. We need our brains to be working at 100% capacity to give us the best chance of succeeding in life in the way we want to. Yeah. So the fact we don't talk about it enough is madness to me, really. I don't get it. And we've started talking about it a lot more, which can only be positive. Because I speak to my clients, how many hours are you getting, do you reckon? Probably about 5, 6. Do you think that's enough? Yeah, that's all right. I'm not too bad the next day. Imagine how well you'd do if you do get the right amount of hours. You're functioning barely, but you think you are. But in reality, you are just hindering your chances of being successful.
You just have less bandwidth available the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
You are going to be more emotional, less ability to kind of regulate yourself, sit above your emotions, sit above your feelings, manage your worry system. All of that stuff is going to be less available to you if you haven't had enough sleep. Because we want to get onto another couple of rocks, I'll quickly go through some of the ways to sleep. Yeah. Top one, your phone is a disaster for your sleep cycle.
Massively.
You hear a lot about blue light, and you hear a lot about how companies have put a blue light tin on, stuff like that. Blue light does affect your sleep. It's not a lie. But the main thing that affects your sleep is the way that your phone engages with your worry system as part of the front of your brain. Okay.
Stimulates it.
Exactly. So no matter what, if you grayscale your phone and swipe through, that will change how excited you are to use your phone, but it won't change the effect that it has. So put your phone the other side of the room if you are in a position where you only have one room. I lived at university for a long time, so I couldn't, everyone says, have your phone outside the room. I couldn't really do that.
I know, but
stick your phone across the room and do not touch it before bed. Have an hour where you're not on your phone before bed. You're not stimulated by those notifications. That's another top tip. Read before bed, as Andy was saying. Just engage into your parasympathetic nervous system. That's what you need to do. You need to be in your parasympathetic nervous system. You need to be reading. You need to be relaxing. Meditate before bed. That's always good. Center yourself when you're breathing. That's always really good as
100%.
Well. So
100%.
We will do another episode on sleep, because it's obviously so important. There's a lot more brain science to sleep that I haven't discussed so far. But we want to hit on another quick 2 at least rocks, and we're already in a long episode here. So
you're welcome. Music. Okay, so it sounds like I get it all the time, and forgive me for drawing on my own experiences, but that's what I do.
I won't forgive you for that.
Music. I talk to my clients. What music do you like? It's very interesting, some of their answers. Sometimes they throw me with their answers. I like Metallica, and I'm like, all right, Daryl, I didn't expect that from you. All right. So
Daryl is not a real person.
Daryl is not a real client of mine. But they can throw me, and these are, if they're 16, they were born. I said it's not even worth thinking about when they were born. It's a bit upsetting for us.
Yeah.
But
2009.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. But they'll surprise me, and I love it. It's such a lovely conversation, because I just get to know the client a bit better and get to know their interests and what they're like in that way. And music is all encompassing, and it's such a powerful thing.
And a bit about the brain science of why that, again, we'll almost certainly do a whole episode on each rock at some point, because there's just so much to talk about. But one of the reasons your brain likes the music you do, and everyone likes different music, is because number one, it's familiar to it. It likes those patterns. Your brain likes recognizing patterns. It likes building models and recognizing patterns. And if you are struggling with the change, one of the best things you can do for your brain is go back to something that it knows really well. Listening to your favorite album, happy, sad, whatever. I know lots of people who really don't love slow music, only like really fast music. I know lots of people who only like slow music and really sad music, and will jog to it, for example. But it's because your brain recognizes and likes those patterns. Yeah. So if you're struggling with something, it's just really good to go and relax. It's like a spa day for your brain, because it's like recognizing the same patterns. It's enjoying that bit. It's like, this is great.
It's comfortability,
really like
isn't it? It's comfortable.
Exactly. So it's really, really good and important for your brain. And the final what we're going to discuss in this long episode is exercise. Again, mostly because you should exercise. We're not breaking news. AYP Spike say you should exercise. We're not in that realm here. Obviously, exercise is good for you. What I want to make clear is exercise is not a one size fits all thing.
Yeah.
I personally run. Andy, do you run?
No.
God,
I can't think of anything worse.
Exactly. But we both exercise.
Yeah.
And it's really important to understand that in this exact same way that everyone's brains are different, everyone's bodies are different, the way that we exercise doesn't have to be the same, and exercise doesn't automatically mean running a marathon.
Yeah.
Exercise can be walking around in the park for a bit.
Literally.
Just moving your body is really good for your body, because we want to balance our, we talked about our two nervous systems before. Sympathetic, it's action nervous system, and your parasympathetic, your rest and digest nervous system. We want to probably be in balance, spend about 12 hours a day in each one of those systems.
Yeah.
When you are exercising, even if it's just a slow walk, you are engaging a lot more into your sympathetic nervous system. That is good for you, because then it means that the rest of the time you're more likely to be in your parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
If one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had is, when I'm having a stressful day, going for a run, as I really enjoy running, or going to the gym if that's what you like doing, or going for a swim, any exercise you enjoy is such a good way of decompressing from that stress, because you release it into the action of moving around. Because your brain will be in your sympathetic nervous system a lot of the time, no matter what, even if you're quite a calm person, and your parasympathetic nervous system quite a lot. If you exercise, you build in the time you're going to be in your sympathetic nervous system, so that you can spend more time in your calm, relaxed parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
They need to rename these nervous systems.
They do, don't they?
I cannot say
So inconsiderate.
I keep saying the wrong one when I mean the right thing. So sympathetic is the action, parasympathetic is the rest and digest. So it's really important that we understand that exercise is not one size fits all. You don't have to do the type of exercise that me and Andy do, for example. You can do, people are into weird stuff, in my opinion.
Elevate your heart rate.
Exactly. That's what it's about.
Your blood pumping.
Exactly.
It makes you feel good. And it comes back to the ideas of being kind to your future self. Even if you're someone, and there are people out there that, my old man, for example, sorry, Dad, but even if you're someone who just doesn't like exercise, when you put yourself through it, even if you don't enjoy it necessarily, because there are people out there, you will thank yourself after, because those endorphins, that dopamine, 100%. You will feel that because of I hate these words. Just
one more time. You got this. Everyone, cheer Andy.
Physiological changes occur when you exercise. I'm so up a person to that mic right now. That will happen. That occurs when you exercise. So dopamine, endorphins get released when you exercise. They are the feel-good hormones. You will feel good. That's a fact. That's a brain fact. That's not a brain opinion. It's a brain fact. So make sure that even if you even if you don't want to do it, be kind to your future self, 100%. Because your body will thank you, and you will feel better
brain
for
will
it.
Thank you.
Of course,
because your body and brain build your mind, and you are not your brain. You're your mind. And one final point. And I can't believe it's been 4 episodes and I haven't said this yet. I have run 3 marathons. Okay.
I'm convinced the only reason people run marathons is to tell people
exactly.
they've run marathons.
I can't believe. I think I deserve a round of applause for not mentioning that previous to now. I've run 3.
I'm very proud of you, mate.
Thank you very much. I'll pause.
You have smashed it. In all seriousness, you have. 3 marathons is some achievement.
Thanks,
My brother done the Brighton one last year. Absolutely smashed it. Said he had cramp like he never felt before. So through him being an empath like myself, I can feel the pain. So you doing 3, mate, it's just, it's phenomenal.
Thank you so
phenomenal.
much. But the point I wanted to make about that is just, just hold on to that fact. Just remember that when you think about me, 3 marathons. But crucially, whenever I go for a run still, and I'm training for another marathon next April, I don't enjoy the start of the run. I get to a point where I start enjoying it. But most of the time, I went for a run the other day, did not enjoy that run at all. So this lie that, some people genuinely really enjoy exercise, and sometimes I really enjoy exercise, but this lie that exercise is this really fun thing that people really enjoy doing. I think if you aren't someone who enjoys exercise,
it's a
that's
barrier.
Completely fine.
You
don't need to enjoy exercise. Ideally, you find a form of exercise that you enjoy at least some of the time, so that you're more likely to engage in it, because we're more likely to do things we like doing, obviously. But if you are someone who's like, I really don't like running, but you do it anyway, that's really good. That's really good for you. And the thing is, when you start to make those changes, if you don't run at all, you'll probably find running really, really hard as you start. But what happens to your brain? What does your brain do throughout your life, Andy?
It changes.
So as you start running, you will get better and better at running. Your brain will make it easier for you to continue running. So you will start to probably enjoy running, because you're basically going to my brain, well, I don't care if you like it or not. I'm doing this thing every week, anyway. So get on board.
For sure.
And it will do. That's what your brain does. So that's the thing with all of these habits, all these well-being behaviors. Ironically, some of these well-being behaviors will probably make you feel, not very well in the moment you start doing it. My first run, I did not feel good after that run.
Sick.
Exactly. But it's really good for you, and building those routines and habits are really, really important. So
Perfect. That's another one over and out. So thank you, everyone, as always.
Thanks for listening. Remember to send us photos of pizzas for Andy to identify where they're from.
You got it.
Please make them Neapolitans, otherwise
I am in trouble. But as we said at the start, we don't want to keep drumming on about it. Follow the socials, AYP Spike.
And you can watch the show.
And you can watch us on YouTube. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks so much. See you next week.